I get a call, right, through this whole process, right, this whole case process. Dave hit me like, yeah, the guys wanted me to reach out and tell you that, they want to keep going how the party is now. You've been gone for 3 months and they want to, just keep that going right now. And I'm like, what guys? Like, what guys are you talking about? Like, he's like, the guys from the pod. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, why hasn't, you feel me? I'm talking about producers. Like, I'm talking about I got people who produce the show currently. I had them sleeping on my couch in my house, bought them beds, have my chef cook them meals. Like,
it would be a disservice if we didn't talk about what everybody wants us to talk about. So let's get into the Pat Bev situation, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I guess, let's go ahead, I guess.
All I have to say about it is I know that Pat Bev is misrepresenting what happened, and he knows that he's not telling the full truth about this situation. But like I said to him personally when I reached out to him, I wish him nothing but the best.
Well, mind you, I haven't talked to Rone on the phone since this situation has happened. Not one time. You talking about this, look, like, me and Rone go deep. Like, feel me? Like, I was there when his kids got baptized, so like, excuse me if I feel some type of way.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So recently, Pat Bev came out and made some comments following the controversy that had led to him being removed from his podcast under his deal with Barstool, while he got a domestic situation involving him and his sister sorted out, a situation that ultimately turned out to be less serious than initially reported. Once that cleared up, Pat looked to make his return, especially considering the podcast, at one point called the Pat Bev Podcast featuring Rone, had built its identity around him and Rone together. But when he tried to come back, Dave Portnoy, the owner of Barstool, reportedly asked him whether he'd actually talked to the rest of the crew, meaning Rone and Jason Williams, who'd continued hosting the show in his absence, and that question apparently caught Pat off guard. So I'm going to play the clips of what Pat Bev said actually happened, including how he felt shaded by his former co-hosts, and then get into what Rone and the rest of the crew had to say in response.
Call, right, through this whole process, right, this whole case process, right, I haven't been able to like really post anything with Barstool, just until everything was over with. Dave has done a phenomenal job being communication-wise, right, allow me to still be with Barstool, but, basically until I get my shit in order, you feel me, like, come back when you're not hot type of vibes, and I understood it. So now that, everything has been, the truths came out and everything is over with, I'll call Dave, like, okay, cool. It's time to get back on the pod. Like, what's up? You feel me? Dave say, have you talked to the guys? And I'm like, okay. I don't know why I got to talk to them, but all right. I hit the group chat. Mind you, through this whole time, right? And I don't want to harp too much on this, but through this whole time, like, I ain't heard a word from Rone. Right? Not one word. Not, is you okay? Is family okay? Is mom okay? Is sister okay? Not a word. Right? And I'm an emotional type of dude, so y'all let me know if I'm in my feelings or not. So Christmas come, and I know I'm gonna get a, Merry Christmas from him. And you feel me? I wait, and I don't get, and I hit him like, yo, Merry Christmas, like, hope the fam is well. He hit me back like, oh man, was caught up with the family, yeah, hope all is well. Mind you, I haven't talked to Rone on the phone since this situation has happened. Not one time. You talking about this, look, like, me and Rone go deep. Like, feel me? Like, I was there when his kids got baptized, so like, excuse me if I feel some type of way, right? not from Barstool, just from the homie. This was the Pat Bev and Rone. We got 278,000 subscribers together. We got a YouTube plaque together. You feel me? So like, this is my dog. Like I thought, like, you feel me? This is my dog. So I hit the group like, yo, you know, I'm back, boys. I'm ready to work. You feel me? Like, man, stuff is past, man. Y'all been holding down. I'm ready to get back to work. Rone reached out to me, man. I know you glad this is over, this. I'm like, all right, so okay, when do we start? And then they go quiet. And I'm like, they like, have you talked to anybody? I'm like, talk to anybody? Like, I talked to Dave. Dave say, have I talked to y'all? I talked to y'all. Y'all tell me, have I talked to somebody else? So me and Dave get on the phone. And Dave, shout out to Dave too, man. Solid dude since day one. Like from him finding me into where I am right now, media-wise, he's been a phenomenal, right? I talked to Dave, and Dave hit me like, yeah, the guys wanted me to reach out and tell you that, you know, they want to keep going how the pod is now. You know, you've been gone for 3 months, and they want to, you know, just keep that going right now. And I'm like, what guys? Like, what guys are you talking about? Like, he's like, the guys from the pod. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, why hasn't, you feel me? I'm talking about producers. Like, I'm talking about I got people who produce the show currently. I had them sleeping on my couch in my house, bought them beds, have my chef cook them meals. Like, I still ain't heard from them. Like, excuse me if I feel some type of way, y'all. Excuse me. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. You feel me? I'm wrong a lot. But I'm a real dude. So y'all let me know if I'm wrong or not for feeling this type of way. I say, Dave, why are you telling me this? Like, why ain't nobody from the pod like telling me this? Yeah, they told me to reach out to you, right? And I'm like, okay, so what you saying? Like, what you saying? I'm just saying that I mean, you know, guys don't want you on the pod. I'm like, but we was just doing numbies on the pod, right? We was me, J. Will, Rone, first episode, 119,000, second episode, 94,000. Like, you feel me? Like, we've been doing numbies. Like, I say, all right, cool, right? Cool. And Dave we chop it off about 30 minutes, right? We hang up. I hit Rone, text him. Like, damn, dog, like, you could have warned me about the bullet I was about to get, right? I thought we was friends, right? I thought we was, you feel me? Like, but regardless, it's always love, Rone. You know the vibes. Like, you know the vibes. You feel me? Like, you Brody, to me still, right? Like, you know the vibes. Rone hit me back like, yeah, man, I just found out 15 minutes ago before you talked to Dave. Like, I guess they made a business decision. So I'm really confused right now, right? I'm really confused. If we live in a place where it's innocent until proven guilty and I'm innocent, I don't understand why, like, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm not with on the pod right now.
You can tell from how Patrick Beverley told the story just how much it genuinely hurt him. He talked about the people working on the show, the producers, the camera crew, all of it, saying he'd literally had some of them living in his house at one point, that they didn't really have much else going on until he opened his doors and gave them that opportunity. And now, with the show having been pulled, a show that was originally called the Pat Bev Pod with Rone, he was left asking how his name went from being front and center on the marquee to being completely removed over something that was ultimately proven he didn't do. Now, here's what Rone and J. Will had to say in response to that.
Disservice if we didn't talk about what everybody wants us to talk about, so let's get into the Pat Bev situation, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I guess, let's go ahead, I guess. Yeah.
All I have to say about it is I know that Pat Bev is misrepresenting what happened, and he knows that he's not telling the full truth about this situation. But like I said to him personally when I reached out to him, I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, that's as short and as sweet as you can be.
Right? I mean, I like it's dragging it. Like, I don't know. I don't think, because I had like a 7-minute video. I deleted that, threw it in the trash. Like, it's like, I don't want to be doing this like big back and forth. What's your
I
thoughts
don't really
on
think
it?
there's no need to be a big back and forth, because one, I think y'all were homies. Y'all definitely were homies, and hopefully at the end of this you'll still be some sort of homie. Like, I don't know about if y'all kick it on the couch or anything like that, but at least, you know what I'm saying, still be some sort of homies, if you know what I'm saying. But what I got to say on it is, like, I think I never really knew Pat Bev from really a can of paint, just other than hooping, right? Just hooping against him and what I've heard and read and things like that. Never knew anything about him until I really sat down on that couch with him the first time. So I didn't know how it was going to go. I just knew a little bit about his personality. I know my personality. I thought it might work out, and I thought, yeah, we had some good vibes going a little bit. But then he just up and left us and went on over there overseas to play ball. And still to this day, I reached out to Buddy to check on him after the shit went down, and I got a response saying he was cool, and then we got word about whatever happened. But the only issue I had with Pat was the trust issue. Like, he just up and left us when I thought we had something rocking. Didn't tell me. I'm not his boss. He's not obligated to tell me, but I can just speak on what I know. If I was finna do something after we started the podcast like we did, I'm gonna let all y'all know, like, look, I got this in the works. It might happen, it might not, just so y'all can get y'all shit together if you need to. But yeah, that's what I'm on. The dishonesty, I should say, maybe. I don't want to say he lied to us, because he just didn't really tell me. So he didn't lie. He wasn't truthful. And I told Mr. Portnoy, he's a pretty big figurehead there at Barstool from day one, that I'm a guy that's big on trust. And I don't care if you tell me something that you know that I'm not gonna like. I need you to say that to me. Don't sugarcoat that shit. So I just feel like in this situation, Pat Bev kind of let us down in a way, and he went and did his thing, and I wish it could have been more successful or whatever you want to do, but now he wants to get back in the fold, and I'm just not about that. And I'm not, you can't just, and he did mention something about some teammates. If he signed a contract and he wanted to leave his teammates or something one day, he ain't allowed to do that. Well, in retrospect, that's what he kind of did right here to us. So he got to watch what he say with that a little bit. But yeah, I got nothing bad against Pat Bev, other than he just didn't tell me the truth. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he rocks out on his no show, whatever he does. Bomb. That's all I got to say about it.
One, this was not my decision. I did not make the call. I'm not the boss in this situation. Two, as far as my and his relationship, I feel like there's some stuff that's being misrepresented about the communication going back and forth. Kind of like what you said. When Pat left our show and our show about the NBA to go to Israel, and left the NBA to go to Israel, he didn't call me or tell me. I found out via a tweet. When he left to go to Greece, I found out via a tweet. When he got arrested, he didn't call me. I found out via a tweet. When the police report came out, I found out via a tweet. So it almost seems like I'm supposed to tell him about stuff that I didn't know about what's going on with this show, but he wasn't telling me stuff about what he knew was going on, which I felt like is not a two-way friendship. And I think that my best suggestion with all of this, because I don't enjoy this type of content, I think is to just keep it basketball and to just talk about basketball going forward. I think that's the best way for everybody to go forward. And it's been a tough week, because I'm seeing like lots of misinformation kind of being spread about me, and that's a little bit frustrating, and you try to have a good perspective about it, but that's why I really just like, I think the best way to move forward is just like let's just talk about basketball. Is that not what people want? Like, or is it like Bravo?
After this one we'll talk. Yeah, but we got some shit we can talk about here. But like, it has nothing to do with you know what I mean? You ain't hiring nobody at Barstool. I'm not hiring nobody at Barstool. And I'm not putting it all on Dave either, who does all the hiring. You know, yeah, we had conversations, and when Dave asked me what I thought, I told him what I just told y'all. I'm big on trust. So he said, "What do you think? Does Pat Bev? Would you like Pat Bev to be back on the bar on the hooping and hollering?" And I told Dave, "Look, it ain't gonna work. I won't be the same if you want me and Pat Bev on the hooping and hollering show. It's not gonna be the same because I ain't gonna feel the same about Buddy because he's already been dishonest to me once, and who's to say he won't do it again? I'm not saying he would, but I'm just saying what you hiring me for, Dave, to set me with Pat Bev again, you ain't getting what you need or what you want."
That's all I have to say about it.
Me too.
It's tough to watch play out, honestly. Rone and Jay Will, particularly Jason Williams, seem to be suggesting that Pat Bev's own decisions played a role here too, and not just the legal controversy that got him in trouble in the first place, the one where Dave and Barstool advised him to step back and let things cool off. Part of it also came down to Pat continuing to pursue his basketball career without keeping his business partners in the loop, specifically not telling Rone or Jay Will that he was looking to go play overseas in Israel. According to them, they found out secondhand, seemingly through a tweet, rather than getting a direct call from him, and their point was basically that you can't expect that same level of respect and communication from others if you're not extending it yourself. I get that logic, honestly. You can't ask for more than you're willing to give. That said, it does feel like something that should have been discussed and worked through directly, especially considering Pat was the reason the show existed in the first place. If we're being fully honest, that's just how it comes across to me. There could be more going on beneath the surface that none of us are aware of, but it clearly reached a point where Barstool, based on what Rone and Jay Will were telling them, felt it was best to move forward without him. It doesn't seem like Dave personally had an issue with Pat coming back. That part seemed fine on his end, but I do think there was something a little disingenuous in how Rone handled it. If he really claimed he'd only found out minutes before, that feels more like he just didn't want to deal with the fallout. And when something gets handled that way, not straightforward, it does make you start questioning how much of the rest of the story you can fully trust. That's just my read on it. Jay Will, on the other hand, seemed a lot more willing to just say what he actually felt, expressing that he didn't appreciate how Pat left the way he did, especially once Dave brought it up directly with him and he gave an honest answer. And when you consider that Jay Will wasn't even part of the show's original lineup, he started as a guest before eventually becoming a regular, it's notable that Barstool sided with him and Rone over Pat, the guy who actually created the show in the first place. You can tell Pat is genuinely hurt by all of this, especially when it comes to Rone specifically. Jay Will didn't have quite as much to say about his relationship with Rone directly, but Pat made it clear he still has love for him, saying something like he still rocks with Rone no matter what, even after feeling like he'd been cut off the way he was.